Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a bit different. We're diving into a really concise but, wow, deeply insightful dialogue. It's from an ancient Buddhist text, the Jatukaṇṇimāṇavapucchā, which you find in the Sutta. And our mission really is to see what timeless wisdom we can pull from it about, finding inner peace, getting free from that constant cycle of wanting more, feeling dissatisfied. All from this, super short conversation. It's between a seeker and an enlightened teacher. So the figures are Jatukaṇ, she's the seeker, described as curious, earnest, and then Bhagava, the Blessed One, often seen as the Buddha, a figure of, well, profound wisdom. So here's the question for you. How can something this old offer really practical insights for navigating our world today? The one that's just crammed with information, endless desires. Let's unpack it. Okay, so the scene opens. We have Jatukaṇṇī approaching Bhagava. The text calls him a manva.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a young Brahmin, or maybe more broadly, a spiritual seeker.
Right. And that description, it isn't just a label, is it? It kind of signals his background, his serious intent.
Exactly. He's not just, casually browsing for answers. He seems genuinely on a quest.
Yeah. You feel that urgency. And his motivation, it's spelled out pretty clearly.
Yeah.
He says he came because he heard Bhagava is a hero who desires nothing.
Viram akama kamiya, a powerful phrase.
It really is. And he wants to ask about crossing the flood or bondage. Oh, Gatiga. He's definitely looking for liberation.
Oh, absolutely. That's the core of it.
And he specifically asks him to speak of the state of peace, Santipadai. And crucially, to speak truthfully, Yakatan.
And what's fascinating right there is the praise he offers. He says Bhagava moves having overcome desires, like the sun heats the earth with its splendor.
Wow.
Bhagavahi kama ampuya yiriyati adikova pavitejitechasa. It's beautiful, but it's more than just poetry. Well, it highlights that this teacher's wisdom isn't just, theoretical stuff you read in a book.
Yeah.
It's embodied. He is the teaching. His very presence radiates this quality of having overcome desire.
Okay. So it's the living example, not just the words.
Precisely. And then Jatukaṇ shows this real humility.
Yeah, he calls himself of little wisdom, Paritapanyasa, and asks the greatly wise Burifanya Bhagava to teach him the path, the Dhamma, specifically so he can understand the abandoning of birth and old age here. That's Vijanya Jaticharaya Ida Vipahana.
Right, and that phrase, abandoning birth and old age, it's really significant and easy to misunderstand.
You mean it's not just about living longer or escaping wrinkles?
Exactly. It's not about physical longevity in that simple sense. If you look at the broader context, it's about transcending the entire cycle of suffering. The whole package deal that comes with conditioned existence.
Whole cycle.
Okay. Yeah. And it raises this, really fundamental question for us, doesn't it? What does it actually mean to seek an end to that cycle rather than just trying to find, slightly better experiences within it?
That's a huge difference.
It's a complete shift in perspective, yeah.
So wanting to end the game versus just wanting to win the next round.
Kind of, yeah. Because if you're just trying to improve your current situation, you're still playing by the rules that inevitably lead back to dissatisfaction, to suffering.
Because the game itself is based on impermanence and clinging.
You got it. True liberation, the kind this text points towards, involves stepping outside that whole framework, recognizing the nature of things.
Okay, so Jatukaṇ has made his case. Very sincere, very urgent. How does Bhagava respond? You said it was immediate.
Immediate, direct, and incredibly succinct. His first key teaching is just bam. Subdue greed for desires.
Kamesu Vinayagatho.
That's it. The foundation.
Okay, but hearing that subdue greed for desires, my mind immediately jumps to extreme stuff. Giving everything up, living in a cave, is that it?
That's a totally understandable reaction. We hear subdue greed and think deprivation. But Bhagava immediately reframes it.
Yeah.
He connects it straight away to the next part. See renunciation as safety or security.
Yeah.
Kamadehu kamato.
Renunciation as safety. Ah.
Yeah. It's not about punishing yourself or losing things. It's about finding a different kind of security, a deep internal well-being that doesn't depend on getting the next thing you want.
So it's not about losing, it's about gaining a different kind of stability, an inner wealth.
Exactly. An inner wealth that can't be touched by external ups and downs. And then this is where it gets really, really interesting.
Okay.
He adds this third directive. Let nothing be considered grasped or rejected by you. That moves beyond just not wanting something specific. It's about a fundamental non-attachment to, well, to anything. Not holding on, not pushing away.
Wow. Okay. Neither grasping nor rejecting. That sounds challenging. How does that apply practically, like day to day, especially with time past, present, future?
Well, Bhagav actually lays out a beautiful kind of three-part instruction for exactly that. He starts with the past.
Right.
He says, dry up what is former past. Yeah, poeta visosehi.
Dry up the past. What does that feel like? Like forgetting?
Not necessarily forgetting, I think. It's more about letting go of the charge. Releasing the attachments, the regrets, the nostalgic clinging, the old stories about ourselves.
Severing the emotional chains to what's done.
Yeah, precisely. Not letting it define or bind you now.
Okay, that makes sense. But then the future, that constant hum of anxiety or expectation, does he cover that?
He does. He says, let nothing be for you in the future.
Now, that sounds tricky. How do we live? Don't we need to plan, have goals? Sounds a bit like just drifting.
It's a really important question. And again, it's likely not about zero planning or ambition. It's about the clinging to outcomes. It's about not being mentally bound by hopes and fears about what might happen. You can still set intentions, you can work towards things, but without that desperate grip on a specific result.
So, like, setting the sails but not being attached to reaching a specific port by Tuesday at 5 p.m.?
Something like that. You release the frantic need, the worry, and then, crucially, he brings it to the present.
Middle.
Yes. If you do not grasp anything in the middle, majichi no gahesasi, the middle is right now, this moment.
So don't grasp the past through regret or nostalgia. Don't grasp a future through hope or fear. And don't grasp the present moment either.
Exactly. Don't try to hold on to pleasant experiences or push away unpleasant ones. Just allow things to arise and pass without that mental clenching.
Okay, so if you actually manage to do this, drawing up the past, not grasping the future, not grasping the present, what happens? What's the payoff?
The payoff is profound, he says. You will wander calmed, peaceful. Upasanto karisasi.
Calmed, peaceful.
And what's really fascinating, maybe even upside down for how we usually think, is that this peace doesn't come from getting something.
Right, you're not adding peace to your collection.
No, it comes from releasing, from letting go of the grasping itself. It's peace through unburdening, not acquiring, an inner shift, not an outer gain.
That really flips the script on how we often chase happiness. And Bhagava, he doesn't stop there, does he? He gives a concluding statement about, well, ultimate liberation.
He does. It sums up the state of someone who has truly integrated this. He says, for the Brahmin who has given up greed for name and form in every way.
Sabaso namarupasmi vitajadasa Brahman. Okay, name and form namarupa, that sounds important. What exactly is that?
It's a really key Buddhist concept. Basically covers all of existence as we experience it. Name refers to the mental side, thoughts, feelings, perceptions, consciousness, even our sense of self.
Our inner world.
Right. And form is the physical side, our body, objects, the material world around us. So name and form is the entirety of our phenomenal reality.
The whole show.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And giving up greed for it means not clinging to any of it as being a permanent self or the source of lasting happiness. Seeing it all as conditioned to changing, impermanent.
Okay, so if someone actually gives up greed for all of that, for name and form, what's the result? What changes?
The text says, there are no defilements. Asavasa navijanti.
Defilements.
Yeah, these are like mental pollutants or intoxicants, things that cloud the mind and lead to suffering, keeping the cycle going. You know, core issues like sensual craving, the deep desire for existence itself, ignorance of the true nature of reality.
Those are gone.
They have no basis to arise when there's no clinging to name and form.
Yeah.
And the ultimate result of that
is
freedom from the sway of death. Yehi makuvasa vaje.
The sway of death, meaning you don't die physically.
Well, not necessarily immortality in the physical sense. Makuvasi here signifies being under the dominion of Mara, or death, as a symbol for the entire cycle of suffering, impermanence, rebirth.
So it's freedom from that whole cycle. Liberation.
Exactly. A complete, profound inner freedom from the conditions that lead to suffering and repeated existence. It's the ultimate peace.
Wow. Okay. That's quite a journey in just a few short verses. What an incredible deep dive. So just to recap the core ideas we've unpacked from the Jatukaṇṇimāṇavapucchā, the path to peace really involves actively working with desire, subduing that greed.
And seeing renunciation not as miserable loss, but actually as a source of safety, of security.
Right, and then this huge piece, letting go of all grasping, past, future, even the present moment, not holding on, not pushing away.
Yeah, that non-grasping is key.
And leading ultimately to this idea that real freedom comes from letting go of attachment to name and form, like the very building blocks of our reality, internal and external, not clinging to any of it as me or mine.
Which, leaves us with a really interesting question to ponder, doesn't it?
Go on.
Well, think about our world. It's constantly shouting at us, get more, hold on tighter, achieve the next thing, be somebody.
Yeah, acquire, strive, define yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that context, what would it actually mean for you, for any of us, to truly understand and start to embrace this principle of not grasping? How might that fundamentally shift our daily experience, our anxieties, our whole search for well-being?
That is definitely something to chew on, a powerful question to end with. We really encourage you to reflect on that, see how this ancient wisdom resonates, or maybe even challenges you today. Until next time, keep diving deep.